And for more on the budget presentation and other matters arising, let's bring in Executive Director, Lead Network, Chukwuma Okenwa, who joins us live from Abuja. Well, we've seen the presentation of the eighth and final budget of this administration, and it's happening exactly 1 year after Mr. President presented the 2022 budget to the National Assembly, keeping faith with the January to December budget cycle that got kick-started under this administration. How effective, let's begin from there, has that been, particularly when you consider the implementation? Mr. President did say that the implementation of the 2022 budget began on the first day of the year.
Okay, let me say that judging from 2022, some of the consistency we could say we saw in terms of implementation would be in critical interventions in the area of infrastructure. We saw like some level of consistency. As for like maybe promises to diversify the economy and of course to improve the revenues, which is critical to meeting up the demands of a budget, because at the moment we know that most of the time we have like a situation where we can't even fund from our revenues. Half of the budget projections we have to like depend on borrowing, and that's not good enough. But of course, the president pointed out on key major issues during his presentation, and that is the fact that while thinking of creating revenues, we also need to think of cutting down, the excesses, government excesses, those spending excesses, and channeling funds where it is most needed, because we know that wastages is one of the bane of the Nigeria economy, and what some of the things that has kept us just rolling in a cycle, which is not good enough.
Indeed. There have also been huge concerns about the country's rising debt profile, but you heard the president say that the country remains within cautious and acceptable limits compared to peer countries. Already, there are debates as to whether this new budget proposal is implementable or not. But are you optimistic that perhaps if government is courageous enough to, this time around in the new year, stop the payment for subsidy, that we might be in for better days?
I think indeed, considering even the fact that the election cycle is upon us, it's going to take like what I will call excessive political will for the current administration to really tie up this administration, complying with like the budget projection to a very great extent. But I think also Mr. President should see this as an opportunity to tie up the 8-year journey that he began in 2015. Because one very interesting thing to notice, when a new administration starts, it just appear you have up to 100 years to do all you want to do. Yesterday we are just talking about President Muhammadu Buhari becoming the president of Nigeria. And today we're already speaking about his handover. So what that means is that even if he felt he had all of the time, it is very clear that the time is limited and he can actually use this to initiate those changes he would have always wished. Yes, we know, like Mr. President pointed out, that you can't achieve everything in one administration. But of course, his achievement should serve like a roadmap for the incoming administration, because the way things are currently in the country, from every dimension, I think whoever becomes the next president will really have a lot of work to do.
Indeed.
In stabilizing the economy before even talking about sustainability.
Executive Director, Lead Network, Chukwuma Okenwa, thank you for talking to us on the news tonight.
Thank you.